So we are starting with the temperate cyclones, that is the life cycle of the temperate cyclone. Temperate cyclone is a disturbance which occurs in the temperate latitudes, fine. And Q hota hai due to the formation of the fronts. I will use this book for certain diagrams in the temperate cyclone. So before I go further, based on yesterday's understanding of the temperate cyclone, आप मुझे क्या क्या पॉइंट्स बता सकते हो? What are the points in the temperate cyclone? What? Good point. Some other point? Crux क्या है temperate cyclone का? Why are they formed? That is a cyclone. वो कोई भी cyclone हो सकता है. Why is the temperate cyclone formed? Temperate cyclone is formed due to convergence of two contrasting air masses, which results into the formation of fronts. Fine. So the first point regarding the temperate cyclone, don't write again. कल मैंने आपको बताया था, it is a low pressure center which is surrounded by the closed isobars. So can I say this region is a temperate cyclone? ये है warm front, right? And this is a cold front. In the warm front and the cold front, the warm air is trapped inside. This is the region जहाँ से the warm air is blowing. This is again a region of warm air. And this warm air that is trapped inside is surrounded by extremely cold air. And as a result of this, if we draw any kind of a phenomena in which there is a circular motion of the air, we will call that phenomena as the temperate cyclones. Now, if I try to divide the temperate cyclone has four parts: north, south, east, west. So this becomes northwest, this becomes northeast, this becomes southwest and southeast. So you can see this is exactly what is happening in the northern hemisphere. Northern sector में there is a easterlies and southern sector में there are westerlies. Ultimately the easterlies will surround the westerlies from all the sides due to formation of fronts. And when the warm air is trapped in between, then it is known as a temperate cyclone. If we consider this as an isobars, यहाँ पे पूरी ठंडी हवा है, ये एक isobar है. As you go, the temperature becomes more colder, so this is the second isobar. As we go, the temperature becomes more colder, this is the third isobar. As we further go, fourth isobar. But इस पूरे region में there is the same temperature. इस पूरे region में there is the same temperature. इस पूरे region में there is the same temperature. इस पूरे region में there is the same temperature. So if I want to draw the isobars, can I say the temperate cyclone has circular isobars or semi-circular isobars which are open from the southern hemisphere or in the southern side? क्या है temperate cyclones? Temperate cyclones do not have closed isobars. They are open from the southern part. Understanding? This is what is the temperate cyclone ka isobars. Q होता है temperate cyclone due to the formation of fronts. So draw a world map very quickly. Don't draw this diagram abhi. Done with this world map? Shade this entire part. And then draw the lines like this. देखो यहाँ पे there is Himalayas. So what is happening? There is a bifurcation. So what are these lines? These are the lines of the temperate cyclone. Equator. Can I continue? The depressions or the low pressure centers, the depressions or the low pressure centers associated with frontogenesis, associated with the frontogenesis. Associated with frontogenesis generating in the regions between 35 to 65 degree north and south latitudes. 35 to 65 degree north and south latitudes are known as extratropical cyclones. Are known as extratropical cyclones or temperate cyclones. Extratropical cyclones or temperate cyclones. They are also known as wave cyclones. They are also known as wave cyclones. Can someone tell me why they are known as wave cyclones? Because कुछ जगह हवा ऊपर जाएगी, कोल्ड फ्रंट एंड वार्म फ्रंट के जगह, बाकी के जगह हवा नीचे आएगी. You will understand what is this wave cyclones. Wave cyclones. In the bracket लिखो, because its formation is explained by wave theory. Its formation is explained by wave theory. Its formation is explained by wave theory. Next. They are originated due to convergence of contrasting air masses. Convergence of contrasting air masses between 35 to 65 degree latitudes. they originate to form polar fronts. Polar fronts matlab fronts. Where they converge to form polar fronts. Converge to form polar fronts. Next, shape and size. Shape and size. And quickly draw the diagram now. जैसे मैंने बनाया वैसे ही you have to show triangles, you have to show circles, you have to write here low. The only difference होगा कि ये arrows मत बनाना. Don't make these arrows. Can I continue? You have to show north, south, east, west in the diagram. You may not show north, west, northeast, but north, south, east, west दिखाना है. Can I continue? The temperate cyclone. In the temperate cyclone, the isobars are not closed. Temperate cyclone, isobars are not closed. But they take the shape of V, inverted V. देखा? They take the shape of V or inverted V. No need of mentioning inverted V. V. Therefore, they are also known as V-shaped depressions. V-shaped depressions. The longitudinal axis of these depressions, shows that longitudinal axis means length, right? Shows that such cyclones are wider in the north. Shows that some such cyclones are wider in the north. Is it wrong or right? They are more wider in the north. Understanding? Warm air is being trapped. Cold air is not trapped. So they are becoming wider in the north. The diameter of these cyclones may vary from 160 kilometers to 3,200 kilometers. 160 kilometers to 3,200 kilometers. (160 to 3,000 kilometers, 3,200 kilometers. Diameter matlab they generally cover an area of around 1.6 million square kilometer. ये पूरा area will be somewhere around 1.6 million square kilometer. इसलिए I told you yesterday, one part may be in Pakistan, the other part may be इसी का warm front का ही, this may be Pakistan and this may be Bihar. Fine? And this area will be obviously Mediterranean Sea से लेके China तक, 1.6 million square kilometer. Next. Yes, observed through satellites. Next, the vertical extent is around 10 to 12 kilometers. Their vertical extent is around 10 to 12 kilometers. Understood? Now see, I am showing you what is an extra tropical cyclone or a temperate cyclone. Ground, वो तो हमारा जो diagram था, that is from the top. Now we will see how it is from the ground. So सबसे पहले cold air का sector. So this is the region of cold air on the ground. And we will call this cold sector. उसके बाद there will be warm front. Which will be having nimbostratus, altostratus, cirrostratus, and then cirrus clouds in the sky. 12 kilometer की height. Then after that, and this is the region जहाँ पे there will be rainfall, continuous precipitation. Then after that there is a warm sector. Can you see here? Warm sector. Just try to understand these two diagrams. उसके बाद what will be there? There will be cold front, जिसकी height obviously will be greater than the warm front. Why? Because it is convectional in nature. And यहाँ पे there will be which cloud? Cumulonimbus cloud. And it will give very heavy rainfall along with lightning and thunder. And उसके बाद there will be again cold sector. इस पूरे फिनोमेना को we will call it as a temperate cyclone, जहाँ से warm air will be rising upwards from here, or the warm air may be thrown upwards from here. यहाँ पे the cold air will descend along the cold front, या cold air will stay on the ground in the region of an cold front. This is what is, ये पूरा phenomena is what is the temperate cyclone. What is this diagram? This diagram is just this diagram. I have just shown you कि cross section view कैसे दिखेगा. Fine. So you can draw this diagram. वो फ्रंट्स अलग है, एनाबैटिक एंड कैटाबैटिक फ्रंट्स, दे आर डिफरेंट. विंड नीचे आ रही है इसलिए हवा ऊपर फेंके जा रही है, और यहाँ पे हवा खुद पे खुद ऊपर जा रही है. एनाबैटिक कैटाबैटिक फ्रंट्स, बट वो पुराना क्लासिफिकेशन हो गया. देयरफॉर आई हैव नॉट टॉट यू क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ फ्रंट्स. हमने सिर्फ एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड किया. वैसे नहीं तो 5 टाइप के अलग अलग फ्रंट्स है. वी हैव जस्ट डन वार्म फ्रंट, कोल्ड फ्रंट वाला फ्रंट. वी हैव नॉट डन लोकल फ्रंट्स, वी हैव नॉट डन टेम्पररी फ्रंट्स, वी हैव नॉट डन एनाबैटिक एंड कैटाबैटिक फ्रंट्स बिकॉज इट इज नॉट नीडेड. But it is present in last year's notes ये सारा. But then I realized कि excess information देके कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होता. ज़्यादा डर ज़्यादा लगता है पढ़ते समय. Try to make this diagram because ये in books में नहीं है, Indian books में नहीं है ये diagram. So this is a very new diagram, very good diagram. Most of your competition won't be making this diagram. Alto, cirro, cirrus. Now getting an idea what is this diagram? And how they are going to move? West, east. So सबसे पहले there will be cold air, then there will be warm air along with precipitation, gentle. फिर कुछ दिन गर्मी रहेगी because you come in the warm sector, and then suddenly one day there will be very heavy rainfall but of a shorter duration, and then there will be again a cold sector. This is what you are going to experience in winters when one time temperate cyclone will visit India. As a 6 to 7 temperate cyclones, and therefore 6 to 7 times the western disturbances are going to come to India. Yes, हमेशा. पहले ड्रिजल होगा जो 1-2 दिन भी चल सकता है या पूरे दिन चलेगा, और फिर थोड़ी गर्मी बढ़ेगी, and then after 15-20 days suddenly there will be heavy rainfall. It can occur early in the morning also, you may not be knowing. It can occur late in the night also, anytime, because it is not associated with convection heating. It is associated with fronts. It is not associated with convective heating. दोपहर में ही गर्मी होनी चाहिए, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Yes. No. This will occur in the month of December, Jan, Feb. अब तो अक्टूबर में कुछ नहीं होने वाला. There will be only October heat and air pollution, nothing else. ये आएंगे तो it is very good because they will remove the air pollution. Rainfall always removes the air pollution. Right? So next subheading is, we are writing it in the form of subheadings. Path of temperate cyclones, and that is where you can make the diagram. You can show this path of a temperate cyclone. Though there is no general path, though there is no definite path, temperate cyclones generally flow or commonly flow from west to east, and these are known as cyclone tracks. These are known as cyclone tracks. Cyclone tracks. Cycle track जैसा cyclone का tracks. Underline the word cyclone tracks. Exam में भी underline करना. There are favorable areas, there are favorable breeding areas of temperate cyclone. There are favorable breeding areas of temperate cyclone. First, Gulf of Alaska. Gulf of Alaska. Can someone tell me why Gulf of Alaska? ये है Gulf of Alaska, USA का. Aleutian low. If you remember, permanent low pressure belt in the northern hemisphere, Aleutian low. So it is a subpolar low pressure belt जहाँ पे हमेशा warm westerlies and the cold polar easterlies will be attracted. Therefore, because of the formation of Aleutian low. Remember, that is what you should remember in climate. Come out of from the mindset of geomorphology. Climate में जितना relate कर सकते हो relate. One topic to another, another topic to third topic. That is why I took paper 2 का topics also in paper 1, so that you will be able to establish the relationship. आगे के सारे topics ऐसे ही है. It is total relationship. And Indian geography में marks, what did that day Abhinav said? 287 marks without studies in the first attempt, just by presentation and relationship, notes पढ़ के. कोई सविंद्र सिंह और इस अटेम्प्ट में भी कुछ नहीं. हाँ, सिर्फ हम शाम को कभी कभी बैठते थे and we used to discuss the paper, what is there, and it came. I told him, do the old age population geriatrics very properly as it is the question came. I gave it even in the GS. क्यों? क्योंकि geography and U का पूरा issue था on old age population problems in India. It came in the exam. Understanding? What is the geography and U का issue this month? Ozone. Needed to buy? Not needed. What is the geography and U का issue last month? Artificial intelligence. आ सकता है question? Yes. वो आ सकता है question. Should you buy it? If you want, you can buy it. वैसे कोई ज़रूरत नहीं उसकी. Ozone की ज़रूरत नहीं है. They have given you about all पूरा GS के लिए. What is stratospheric ozone? What is the ground ozone? जो हम करते हैं GS में, as it is there. Fine. And I know a student, Suraj, 5th mains, 4th interview. Fine. Paper 2, paper 1, 162. Last year, paper 2, 90. Means what does it show? He has enough knowledge. I said, what you did in paper 2, did you change? You were saying, पता नहीं, luck खराब था. I asked him a direct question, तूने कुछ strategy change की थी paper 2 में? बोला हाँ, एक कहीं इंटरव्यू में पढ़ा था कि ऐसे strategy करनी चाहिए और मैंने अपनी हमेशा की strategy change कर दी, इसलिए 151 से वो directly 90 पे आया. Imagine करना उसका marks 162 plus 151. अगर वो strategy change नहीं करता तो 300 plus. Fine. So don't always go on the net. Toppers को पता नहीं होता कौन सी strategy marks देती है. Toppers होने के बाद they give the interview. Fine. So always don't listen to the toppers. I can also say, just to impress you, see, every month I read geography and you. I read down to earth. I read everyday Mint, The Hindu, Indian Express. इसमें से मैं कुछ भी नहीं पढ़ता हूँ. Frankly, I have Google News. I have put what are my interest areas. जो Google देता है, that is my news item. Fine. Geography and UI study. Down to earth, I find it worst magazine. Worst magazine means news article is this much and the बाकी के page में there is ad only. So no need of buying. Down to earth. So ultimately he took anthropology this year in his last attempt, 6th attempt. Anthropology he took. And see how luck is. In the last attempt he could not clear prelims. Khatam attempts. 6th attempt was his, he could not clear. For the first time in his life he could not clear prelims this year. क्यों? क्योंकि December में he decided to take a new optional. Started studying for that optional. Thinking कि मैं prelims तो यूँ पास कर जाता हूँ हमेशा की तरह. Last एक month दिया prelims के लिए. Gone prelims. This year's prelims. Whereas I had asked him, if you are changing the optional, take 1 year ka break. Don't give prelims this year. Fine. So next point, cyclone tracks. So first Aleutian low, that is second Northwest Atlantic, Northwest Atlantic, Northwest Atlantic, near North America, near the North America. Understanding Northwest Atlantic, near North America. Why? This is the region we are talking about. Because cold Labrador current and therefore cold air mass. Warm Gulf Stream and therefore warm air mass. Getting it? Northwest Atlantic, full stop. The cyclones after originating here, cyclones after originating here, enter into Europe, enter into Europe, giving rainfall to the northwestern part of Europe. Rainfall into the northwestern part of Europe. These cyclones originate due to the impact of ocean currents on the air masses. Originate due to the impact of ocean currents on the air masses. Impact of ocean currents on the air masses. Understanding this diagram? So this is just for your understanding. No need of drawing this. Cold Labrador current is coming, उसके ऊपर का air mass becomes extremely cold. Warm Gulf Stream is coming, उसके ऊपर का air mass is extremely warm. They both join together and after that, clear? Third, Icelandic low, Icelandic low. Fourth, Colorado low. Colorado low, near USA, Colorado low. Fifth, Mediterranean Sea, Mediterranean Sea, Mediterranean Sea, where the cyclones originate, and reach South Asia, reach South Asia. Reach South Asia. कितने हुए? 5. And the sixth is the Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of Mexico. The cyclones after originating here, move towards Appalachian Mountains. Means the cyclones are moving in this direction, not from west to east. ये exceptions है. Exception सिर्फ याद रखो, जब use करना है तो करो. There is no need of writing this point in the exam. Fine? हमेशा. But if you want to show something, highlight something, then only show this. Gulf of Mexico we can understand here. That is again in this region. They originate and they move here. We can understand the cyclones originating here. Can someone tell me why here? Gulf of Mexico. क्या है? Warm ocean current. But cyclones के लिए तो cold भी चाहिए. Air. Polar winds. Fine. So ये localized है, and therefore this is a tornado belt. Understanding? This is a tornado belt. So it is not fitting in our definition, but because north-south mountain is not there, east-west mountain is not there, therefore the cold polar winds can come up till here, and then we have the cyclones which are originating in this region. Clear? Next, winds. In the temperate cyclone, there are two contrasting winds. Cold, dry, denser winds. Which come from north. While the southern side is characterized by warm winds, which can be moist as well as dry. Southern side is characterized by warm winds, which can be moist as well as dry. At the center of a temperate cyclone, this wind converge. Next, there is sudden change in the wind direction. Known as wind shift lines. can draw this diagram. Understanding this diagram, जो center में है semicircles, they are isobars. Then you have cold fronts, you have warm front, and here there is a sudden change in the wind direction, right? Here there is a sudden change in the wind direction because there are cold winds which are coming from here, from the cold region. So this I'll show by some other color. विंड शिफ्ट लाइन, अंडरस्टूड? विंड शिफ्ट लाइन, इस डायरेक्शन से विंड आ रही है, सडनली अब गर्म हो गई, गर्म विंड है, सडनली अब ठंडी विंड हो गई, देयरफॉर दिस इज व्हाट इज नोन एज विंड शिफ्ट लाइन. Clear? It's totally conceptual. Don't get afraid by the diagrams, etc. Understanding? Last statement. D-shaped. Because there is no temperature change as you go here. This all region is warm. What is isobar? Isobar shows the pressure gradient. Pressure gradient is caused by temperature gradient. So यहाँ पे there is a mix, warm air is trapped. If you go, there is a colder air. If you go further, you go in higher latitudes, more colder air. So pressure changes. If you go up, there is more colder air. Pressure changes. If you come down, there is not much change of temperature due to funneling effect of the warm winds. If you go on the other sides, this may be the region of westerlies. It is the cold wind which is coming here in the region of easterlies, westerlies, warm westerlies, and it is getting moved towards this side. Therefore, this region is isobar is changed. Isobar shows wind ka direction. Understanding? Why the isobar is D-shaped? His question. Understood? क्योंकि टेम्परेचर चेंज होते जा रहा है एज यू आर गोइंग अवे. इफ यू गो अवे फ्रॉम हियर, पता नहीं यहाँ पे कौन से विंड्स है. देयर विल बी प्लैनेटरी विंड्स इन दिस रीजन. मीन्स यहाँ पे देयर विल बी वेस्टर्लीज विच विल बी मूविंग लाइक दिस. If you go up, there are polar easterlies. They are more colder. So only in this region there is a pressure difference. Next line. Different temperatures are noted in the different parts of temperate cyclones. Different temperatures are noted in the different parts of temperate cyclone. Which part will be having lowest temperature? Tell me. Which part will be having lowest temperature? Temperate cyclone में. Center part में तो high temperature होगा. It's a low pressure. We are doing temperate cyclone only. Where will be their lowest temperature, not lowest pressure? North, northwest, northeast, south, southwest, southeast. Why northwest? Perfect. Northwest is having the lowest temperature क्योंकि सारी wind deflect होके northwest के तरफ. There is a concentration of cold wind in the northwestern part. अभी तक GS में सिर्फ पूछा है which temperature has highest, which part has highest temperature. So the answer is southern part. Clear? Understanding? Okay, it is a convergence of two air masses. Get out of the idea of your understanding of cyclone. Temperate cyclone is not actually a cyclone. Cyclone is only in the tropics. इसको नाम में बोला जाता है cyclone because ये बारिश देता है, बाकी कुछ नहीं. It is not your idea कि there will be very bad weather, death, destruction, बिल्कुल नहीं है. It is a good phenomena. Western disturbances. Understanding? This year rainfall is known as western disturbances, even that rainfall is known as western disturbances. Cold front precipitation, warm front precipitation. And coming to, which can be asked as a separate question is, yes. The question, no, the question was, they had given you a diagram and they had marked it A, B, C and D, and which part is having, very simple question was there. GS में नहीं जाएंगे साउथ ईस्ट साउथ वेस्ट, नहीं GS में नहीं जाएंगे इतना डिटेल में. GS में they will keep it very simple. Southern part has the higher temperature. Weather conditions of temperate cyclone. So tell me how we are going to write an answer on weather conditions of temperate cyclone. बस इस डायग्राम को समझो, you already know the weather conditions. In which direction it is moving? Eastwards. West to east. So matlab you are initially here. That is the first point. Right? Then you come here, that is the second point. Then you come here, that is the third point. Then you come here, that is the fourth point. Then you come here, that is the fifth point. Fronts ka precipitation will be different. And then you come here, that is the sixth point. These are the 6 points that are associated with the temperate cyclone, weather conditions. सबसे पहले arrival of a cyclone, वो point. Second point, cold sector, dry conditions. Third point, warm front precipitation, drizzle. Third point. Fourth point, warm sector, but cloudless and clear sky. Fifth point, cold front precipitation. Sixth point, फिर से cold sector. This is how a temperate cyclone will go. Fine? It is going from west to east. मतलब अगर आप यहाँ खड़े हो, फिर यहाँ, 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 etc. That is what the answer is. Clear? So what are the weather conditions associated with, एक क्वेश्चन आ चुका है polar front. Polar front में क्या होगा? Temperate cyclone, and you have to write this answer. Getting it? These are the weather conditions associated with polar front. There was a one question past year. Getting it? So take the point. The observation point of easterly moving temperate cyclone, easterly means from west to east, yeah, eastwards. What you will write? Easterly moving, yeah, eastwards, eastward moving temperate cyclone. Easterly means east to west, eastward moving temperate cyclone experiences, the observation point of eastward moving temperate cyclone experiences different weather conditions. Different weather conditions. First point, arrival of cyclone. Wind velocity decreases. Wind velocity decreases. क्यों wind velocity decreases? Cold sector आ रहा है and cold air is denser and therefore friction ज़्यादा है. Understanding? Next point, मतलब उसी sub points. There is a presence of cirrus clouds high up in the sky. There is a presence of cirrus clouds high up in the sky. The sun or moon is encircled by halo. The sun and the moon is encircled by halo. Which cloud is associated with halo? Cirrostratus. So cirrus के बाद there is a cirrostratus. Next, the temperature decreases. Temperature decreases. Savindra Singh में दिया है temperature suddenly increases. It is wrong. Temperature decreases because of arrival of cold sector. Temperature decreases because of arrival of cold sector. Because of arrival of cold sector. But the weather is clear. But the weather is clear. And dry. Weather is clear and dry. Second point, warm front precipitation. Warm front precipitation. Presence of cumulonimbus clouds. Presence of cumulonimbus clouds. Since the warm air rises, it cools adiabatically. It cools adiabatically. Giving warm front precipitation in the form of moderate, in the form of moderate snowfall or rainfall, in the form of moderate snowfall or rainfall. In the form of moderate snowfall or rainfall. Next क्या आएगा? What will come after this? Warm sector. Warm sector. Temperature increases. There is sudden change in the wind direction. There is sudden change in the wind direction. True or false? Say, look at the diagrams and it is clear to you. There is a now sudden change in the wind direction. With the winds becoming southerly and southwesterly. See, obviously all this is for northern hemisphere, fine. Winds becoming southerly and southwesterly. Weather is clear and pleasant. Weather is clear and pleasant. Next, clear and pleasant. Next, cold front precipitation. Cold front precipitation. The air suddenly becomes, the cold front quickly arrives. The cold front quickly arrives with reduction in visibility, sky being covered by cumulonimbus clouds, cold front precipitation. We have not written any clouds in warm front. Have we written? Oh, sorry, presence of nimbostratus clouds. Next, if we say cold front precipitation में, what was I dictating? Giving heavy downpour along with lightning and thunder. Giving heavy downpour along with lightning and thunder. And the last is cold sector. Cold sector. Last is the cold sector. Weather again becomes clear. Winds become westerly in nature. Can you see winds are coming westerly in nature? Winds become westerly in nature. While the sky is cloudless and clear. Sky is cloudless and clear. Clear with this? This is what is the extra tropical cyclone. Now the question is why it is D-shaped or V-shaped. 992 millibars pressure, 996 millibars, 1000 millibars. इसके और ऊपर जाएगा तो again it is going to decrease. Fine. This is what we have drawn, temperate and tropical cyclones. And this is the same diagram I explained you yesterday, or this is better. In real life, it looks somewhat like this. Tropical cyclone is totally different. This is what is the temperate cyclone, stages. Stationary front, frontogenesis, cold front, warm front. The cold air will try to come into the territory of warm air, mud gai. It has become westerly in nature. Then the warm air becomes trapped from all the sides, and this is how the cyclone is formed. And over the period of time, there will be total removal of warm air from the ground, and therefore we will have occluded front. And the last stage is the occluded front. Whether India mein there will be rainfall or not depends upon how fast it is being formed. If the cyclone ka formation ka stage is very fast, then India mein reach hote hote occluded front ban jayega and there will be no rainfall. But if the cyclone reaches Delhi, there may be a rainfall in Delhi, but there may not be a rainfall in Allahabad. Why? Because till the time it reaches Allahabad, there may be an occlusion. Understanding? So it cannot be predicted. This is how the temperate cyclone is formed. And we are going to study this. Ye diagram aapko banana hai. This is the theory which is known as polar front theory of temperate cyclones. Clear? Understood with the temperate cyclones? And tropical cyclone is totally different. This is the satellite image of temperate cyclone. And you were asking about halo, this is halo. Cirrus clouds, cirrostratus clouds. You should mention this only when there is a question asked regarding polar front theory. It is explained by polar front theory. And what I explained you yesterday is nothing but polar front theory. What I showed you diagram right now is nothing but a polar front theory of tropic temperate cyclone ka formation. Can I continue? Introduction. Whenever you write an answer, give the definition of a temperate cyclone. If there is enough space, make a diagram of the area. Then, next point. Clear? This is how you should start your answer, with a diagram. One page, one diagram in some core questions. Second point. The first attempt to explain the temperate cyclone, was made by Fitzroy. who attributed, who attributed who attributed the formation, who attributed the formation to to the convergence of two contrasting air masses, formation to convergence of two contrasting air masses. The development of the temperature theories can be shown with the help of flow chart. Can be shown with the help of a flow chart. So I am giving you the only important theories. इसके बीच और दो theories है which I have skipped. Convergence of two contrasting air masses, they say no, convergence of winds from all direction, obviously such a theory will be criticized because winds will converge at all the points. Then why temperate cyclones originate only in certain points? They say convective current theory ka postulates, they say that temperate cyclones originate due to convection. Totally wrong. Convection तो है ही नहीं, temperate regions में कहाँ पे convection होगा, and therefore polar front theory. There is no need of writing what I am writing now. बिल्कुल मत पढ़ना, बुक्स में दिए है ये सारा, but there is no need for studying the other theories. Polar front theory, understanding the most important theory. Who gave it? Now you try to understand, because they wanted to give this theory, they started studying fronts. Because they came to understand the fronts, they started studying air masses. And therefore fronts, air masses, temperate cyclones में एक ही thing करे, that is Jerkins and Jerkins, Norwegian school. What will this theory say? It is known as an wave theory. Therefore they are also known as an wave cyclones. What will this theory say? They will say stage 1, stationary front, right? Then they will say stage 2, formation of cold fronts and warm fronts. Then stage 3, there will be reduction in the areas of cold front, warm front, and thus there will be formation of cyclones. Stage 4, ultimately there will be occlusion. Very easy theory. Getting it? So first, introduction. It is also known as frontal theory or wave theory. It is also known as frontal theory or wave theory or Bergen theory, wave theory or Bergen theory, not Bergeron process. Bergeron process is cloud formation. Bergen theory. Next, according to this theory, temperate cyclones are formed. Temperate cyclones are formed due to twisting of a front. Due to, underline the word, twisting of a front. Twisting. Twisting of a front. Front hai, it has got twisted, therefore wave theory. Understanding? Twisting of a front. Next point. This is due to frontogenesis. Caused due to deflection, caused by deflection of cold polar air towards the equator, caused by deflection of cold polar air towards the equator and warm tropical air towards the poles, Next point. Warm tropical air towards the poles. The process of formation of fronts, the process of formation of the fronts gives rise to a wave, in the form of cold front and warm front, gives rise to a wave in the form of cold front and warm front. In the form of cold front and warm front. Next. In the first stage, the convergence of two contrasting air masses occur. the first stage, the convergence of two contrasting air masses occur. Before the convergence, the air masses flow parallel to each other. Air masses flow parallel to each other. Bracket में लिखो, which front is this? Air masses flowing parallel to each other. Stationary front. Fine. Stationary front. Next point. Due to the Coriolis force, the warm and the cold air masses penetrate into each other's territories, forming warm and cold fronts, This stage is known as incipient stage. Fronts जब फॉर्म हुए तो which stage? Incipient stage. That is why मैं बार बार कह रहा था that frontogenesis is necessary for cyclogenesis, is known as an incipient stage. Next. As the warm air is being displaced from the ground, the isobars start becoming more or less circular. Full stop. The warm sector is narrowed down. You know now what is warm sector? The warm sector is narrowed down due to the advancement of the which front? Due to advancing cold front. Giving rise to a proper cyclone. There are differences in the precipitation along the warm front and the cold front. You already know what is the differences. फिर से dictate करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. In the exam, can you write on your own? If the question is longer, what is the differences in the precipitation? Cold front precipitation will be heavy. Warm front precipitation will be gentle but of a longer duration. Next point. Last stage, that is, don't write it as a last stage. Next point. Ultimately, with the narrowing of warm sector, occlusion occurs resulting into the death of a cyclone. Narrowing of warm sector, occlusion occurs resulting into death of a cyclone. Resulting into the death of a cyclone. The process is again repeated. The process will keep on repeating from stationary front. Understanding? From the formation of the stationary front. And you can draw the diagrams. Savindri Sigma, it is given in 6 stages. I have made it in 4 stages for you. क्योंकि 4 stages याद करना आसान है. Stage A, stationary front. Stage B is incipient stage. Stage C is cyclone. Stage D is occlusion. तो फिर से यहाँ से स्टेशनरी फ्रंट एंड ऐसे बनेगा. कभी कभी क्वेश्चन इनडायरेक्टली आता है एज अ लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ अ टेम्परेट साइक्लोन. understood temperate cyclones? Everything regarding temperate cyclone, because tropical cyclone इसके सामने कुछ भी नहीं है. Cold air is totally displacing the warm air from the ground. और you can see cold front आएगा warm front को overtake कर देगा. ब्रोक, साइक्लोन मर जाएगा. फिर से अब साइक्लोन बनने के लिए वो स्टेज में जाना पड़ेगा, स्टेशनरी. All of you have Savindra Singh, right? मंडे के क्लास में ले आना सविंद्र सिंह. Physical, which all you have. Reason is we'll do the last ka chapters which are important from the environment and ecology point of view also. You must have seen the questions such as Notogean relim, Ethiopian relim, उसके लिए. वैसे it is not from climate. Done? Clearly understood this theory? Do you agree with his theory? How is it different from Fritz-Zwicky theory? Fritz-Zwicky ने सिर्फ कहा था टू contrasting air masses के कारण cyclones बनेंगे. He did not explain the process of formation of the fronts etc. Fine. Now they have explained properly कैसे fronts are associated with the cyclones. So conclusion. We have not finished our answer. Theory में there always has to be critical analysis and conclusion. Conclusion. This classical theory is very useful in understanding the cyclone pattern as well as movements, in understanding the cyclone pattern as well as movement. Full stop. With the systems analysis in geography, with the coming up of systems analysis and mathematical modeling in geography. And mathematical modeling in geography. Upper air circulation was understood. Upper air circulation was understood. Full stop. Polar front theory does not involve the concept of upper air or jet streams, do not involve the concept of jet streams. And therefore, baroclinic wave theory baroclinic wave theory is the most recent theory of explaining cyclones and anticyclones in the temperate region. Of explaining cyclones and anticyclones in the temperate region. Is the most recent theory of explaining cyclones and anticyclones in the temperate region. So you got now a new theory. Unless it is not asked, जो अभी तक कभी पूछा नहीं यूपीएससी ने, you don't have to write the baroclinic wave theory, but if it comes, you should know what is this theory. So किससे related होगा ये baroclinic wave theory? Baro means pressure. So there are two kinds of surfaces. Now after the coming up of the upper air circulation, देखो हमें पहले लगता था there are only surface winds, जहाँ से the surface winds will rise up and we used to call this as a low pressure, the surface winds used to come down, we used to call this as a high pressure. But now after coming up of World War II and the upper air circulation and the study of jet streams, we came to know that upper air circulation is also present in the form of conveyor belt model. Conveyor belt model means if it is low pressure here, then upper air mein there is a divergence or high pressure, and if there is a divergence, it is going to converge somewhere here. Because of this, the density of the air will increase, and as a result of this, the air will come and settle down, and therefore अगर ऊपर low pressure है तो ज़मीन पे high pressure. Wind is only this. These are generally jet streams, high pressure to low pressure. So there are two types of concepts, that is, one is the baroclinicity और baroclinic wave theory. First understanding, baroclinic wave theory कहता है कि there is an upper air circulation in the form of jet streams. Why the baroclinic wave theory? Who is the thinker? Who is the scientist? There are no scientists associated with the single person associated with the baroclinic wave theory or with plate tectonic theory or with systems analysis in geography, because it is due to the computer modeling. Whatever the data is available in this is fed to the computers, and then uska authenticity is checked with the help of computers. But authenticity was not seen. Whatever the polar front theory gave, uska authenticity was not seen with the help of computers. But computers case mein kuch aur dikha. That is, there are jet streams, where the jet stream ka flow is very, very high, there is less density of the air, and therefore the surface air rises in the temperate latitudes. When the surface air rises in the temperate latitudes, ऊपर जाता है तो it will always take a spiraling motion because of the Coriolis force. हमेशा air कभी भी ऐसे नहीं जाएगा straight. कैसे जाएगी? It will always go in a spiraling manner. What is known as an Ekman spiral. And this is what is the low pressure. Excess air from here will go, it will become denser and heavy, and therefore kahin jaake it will settle down, and this will be high pressure. This will be cyclone, this will be anticyclones. Bas simple hai baroclinic wave theory. Therefore it should be mentioned only in the conclusion, never a question. अगर यूपीएससी को क्वेश्चन भी पूछना है in the baroclinic wave theory, पूछ सकता है क्या? Yes, because in your syllabus there is a temperate cyclone. There is no mention of polar front, it all is implied, ये सब आएगा. Is it given in Savindra Singh? Yes. Fine, baroclinic wave theory. I don't know whether it is given in the physical geography of Savindra Singh, it is given in the climatology of Savindra Singh, it is given in the climatology of every book. Getting it? And thirdly, it is associated with jet streams. Getting it? So that is an outcome of the systems analysis in geography. So we will study this only from the short note point of view. If the question comes, it will come only in the short note. Books have not given any diagrams, but we will make a diagram here, baroclinic wave theory. One diagram which you can make, अगर टाइम नहीं है, एग्जाम में आया ही, तो वो फ्लो चार्ट, फ्लो चार्ट में और एक ऐड कर सकते हो, बैरोक्लिनिक, द रोल ऑफ जेट स्ट्रीम्स। एग्जामिनर समझ में आ जाएगा कि यू नो द एंटायर हिस्ट्री। फाइन। Means the flow chart where we have drawn, you can add one more thing, that is the baroclinic wave theory, and write there the role of the jet streams. Clear? So baroclinic wave theory. What is the background? With the study of computers, with the coming up of mathematical models, with the coming up of mathematical models, it was found that some of the temperate cyclones can develop even without fronts. Some of the temperate cyclones can develop even without pre-existing fronts. Even without pre-existing fronts. Assumption. Assumption, first assumption. Cyclones and anticyclones. Cyclones and anticyclones are integral part of general atmospheric circulation. Integral part of general atmospheric circulation. Underline the word general atmospheric circulation. Think thoda deep mein. General atmospheric circulation means cyclones and anticyclone is not an different phenomena. It is a part of upper air as well as wind circulation. Therefore, general atmospheric circulation means it is a part of this cycle. Understanding? ये हो गया cyclone, this बन गया anticyclone. So, जो theories है उसमें से words have to be done very properly. That is because most of the words are precise in nature. ऐसे ही नहीं कुछ भी words use कर सकते हैं. Second assumption. Baroclinicity. Baroclinicity is the basic nature of atmospheric conditions. Is the basic nature of atmospheric conditions. Full stop. Due to this, the potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. Potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. Full stop. Clear? फिर से पढ़ो दोनों assumptions very quickly. What are the keywords? जनरल एटमॉस्फेरिक सर्कुलेशन में साइक्लोन्स एंड एंटी साइक्लोन्स होते हैं. सेकंड कीवर्ड इज द बैरोक्लिनिसिटी. कुछ समझ में आया? What is baroclinicity? For understanding baroclinicity, you should understand barotrophy. Don't get scared by the words. Barotrophy means जब there is a segregation of air of different densities, proper stratification. As we go up, the density of the air decreases, temperature decreases. So ये air है जिसका temperature is higher. ये एयर है जिसका टेम्परेचर इज लो टेम्परेचर एंड इसका डेंसिटी इज ऑल्सो लेस. व्हाई? एडियाबैटिक चेंज, इट गोज ऑन एक्सपांडिंग. दिस इज बैरोट्रॉफी. सो बैरोट्रॉफी में देयर इज अ प्रॉपर स्ट्रैटिफिकेशन ऑफ द एयर. ये पुराना थिंकिंग है. ये ऊपर जाओगे तो एयर का डेंसिटी चेंजेस. बैरोक्लिनिसिटी कहता है कभी भी प्रॉपर स्ट्रैटिफिकेशन नहीं है, because there is continuous mixing of these layers. Stratification occurs only in the terms of temperature inversion, otherwise there is low pressure, इसके कारण ये air mix हो जाएगी, या there is descent of air, इसके कारण ये air mix हो जाएगी. So what is baroclinicity? Is interaction between the stratified air. Barotrophy, no interaction. Baroclinicity, interaction. So cyclones and anticyclones के लिए there has to be interaction between the ground surface and upper air surface. इसलिए the word is baroclinicity. कुछ नहीं. Getting it? So I am writing this. No need of writing this in the exam, but to avoid confusion, you can just. Barotrophy is the state of layering, or we will call this as stratification. In atmosphere. That is, layers are एकदम लेमैन में, the layers are parallel to each other. Baroclinicity is our entire subject is based on the concept of baroclinicity. Low pressure air will rise up. There is interaction, right? High pressure air will come down. So ये हम पढ़ते ही नहीं है. This is the old thinking. There is no interaction. This is the new thinking. There is a interaction. Stratified है, मानता ही है. It knows that it is stratified, but there is always interaction. Winds, valley winds, mountain breeze, etc. in all terms. Anabatic winds, katabatic winds. Fine. So he had asked me one question. Ki in book there is a katabatic and anabatic fronts. It is nothing but baroclinic wave theory. Understanding? Fine. But which book was that? Savindra Singh? Rupa Singh. सविंद्र सिंह में ये नहीं दिया है. theory. According to the theory, cyclones and anticyclones, according to the theory, cyclones and anticyclones are formed in the temperate regions due to baroclinic instability. Due to baroclinic instability. बहुत भीड़ है बाहर. Next point. Meandering jet stream. The meandering jet stream produces ridge and trough. Meandering jet stream produces ridge and trough, T-R-O-U-G-H, trough, in the upper atmosphere. In the upper atmosphere. Produces ridge and trough in the upper atmosphere. Understood? Ridge and trough. Trough matlab depression. Next point. Due to this, wave-like flow of upper air westerlies, another name for the jet streams. Due to this wave-like flow of upper air westerlies, wave-like flow of upper air westerlies, energy transfer takes place across the latitudes. Energy transfer takes place across the latitudes. Understanding this point? Not that important from the exam point of view. Means कुछ जगह cyclones हो गए, कुछ जगह anticyclones होगा. Next. Rising air currents causes inflow of winds from different regions. Rising air currents causes inflow of winds from different regions. This winds become spiraling in nature. This winds become spiraling in nature due to rotation of the earth. This winds become spiraling in nature due to the rotation of the earth to develop a cyclonic circulation which causes more rise of the air which causes more rise of the air. Next, where the jet stream forms next is where the jet stream forms a depression it is associated with descending air currents. It is associated with descending air currents to give rise to anticyclones. Give rise to anticyclones. Conclusion. First draw this diagram and then draw the conclusion. अंडरस्टूड. जहाँ पे टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा है एयर ऊपर जाएगी, एयर ऊपर जाएगी तो जेट स्ट्रीम्स को ऊपर पुश करेगी. जेट स्ट्रीम्स को ऊपर पुश करने का कारण लो प्रेशर इंटेंसिफाई होकर साइक्लोन बनेगा. There will be more wind here, so this wind will become accumulate and become heavier here. So आगे जाके anticyclones. This does not apply to tropical regions. This applies only to temperate regions. इसलिए temperate regions में if you see properly, Britain cyclonic conditions. अंदर जाओगे तो anticyclonic conditions. फिर से cyclonic conditions. ऐसे एक latitudes में है. इसलिए मैंने मंडे को कहा कि वो बुक लेके आना. You will understand different types of climate in that. ईस्टर्न यूरोप साइक्लोनिक कंडीशन, तिब्बत, लेह लद्दाख, ताजिकिस्तान, उज्बेकिस्तान एंटीसाइक्लोनिक कंडीशंस. फिर से ईस्टर्न चाइना साइक्लोनिक कंडीशंस. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? एंड यू नो कि यू शुड नॉट गो बाय द साइज ऑफ द डायग्राम. दिस कैन बी lakhs of square kilometer apart. ये मैंने 3D बनाया है. यू कैन मेक अ सिंगल लाइन आल्सो, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं. Can I continue? So conclusion. The baroclinic wave theory gives great insights. The baroclinic wave theory gives great insights into heat exchange in the temperate latitudes, into heat exchange in the temperate latitudes, as well as the non-frontal origin of temperate cyclones. As per the non-frontal origin of temperate cyclones. Upper air divergence is the regions of surface cyclones is the region of surface cyclone. Understanding? ऊपर डाइवर्ज हो रहा है, सो नीचे क्या हो रहा है, कन्वर्ज, और ऊपर हो जा रहा है. While upper air convergence are the regions of surface anticyclones. Clear? यहाँ से the air will converge and it will come down. Fine. So I'll stop here today. There is a class. You are having test on geomorphology on this Sunday. Fine. 2 to 5. क्यों? So फिर किसी और दिन लिख लेना. You can come at any time. The test times for this are morning to evening. सिर्फ 3 घंटे की टेस्ट है. So I will declare in the class it is from 2 to 5. या फिर those if you are having current affairs from 2 to 5, you come in the morning and give the test. Fine. But test जरूर देना. इतने मेहनत से पेपर बनाया है, थोड़ा कल भर दिन भर पढ़ के, tomorrow there is no class, पूरा दिन भर पढ़ के come for the paper. Paper is easy only. There are some questions of oceanography also. At least write जितना हो सकता है रिवाइज करके. Don't solve the difficult question, but solve easy questions. Means study पूरा, but अगर ऐसा नहीं कि पूरा बंक मारने से अच्छा, solve some questions. If you are not available, the classroom is free in the morning on Monday, Tuesday, any day. You come here and write it on Monday. That classroom is for test only. Yes, what was your